Qajar dynasty. The capitulation law, later abolished in 1928 by Reza Shah, an event proudly documented in history as a great achievement for regaining Iran's sovereignty. The unanswered question is why? Why would the United States push strongly to weaken the position of an ally in a time when the Shah had not yet solidified his power, and both the US and the Shah were constantly bombarded by the propaganda machine of the Soviet blocs? There may not be a logical answer for this question with the common wisdom of uninvolved people. Iraj Pezeshkzad, Iranian writer and researcher, emphasizes that this unwise push by America turned Khomeini's image from a fanatic clergy who is opposed to any progress overnight to a nationalist whom he never was. In fact, the animosity of Khomeini against the Shah, which led to his unsuccessful uprising in 1963, came as the Shah launched the White Revolution of King and People. The White Revolution contained many progressive reform principles, such as women's right to vote and the right to be elected. Which Khomeini and many hardline clergies were relentlessly opposed to, considering it to be against Islamic values. The White Revolution also detailed Iran's land reform, which gave ownership of land to millions of peasants. And created great animosity against the Shah from feudal landowners who made an unsuccessful alliance with certain branches of clergies to turn back the clock. A year after the crackdown of Khomeini's first uprising, with his anti-progress messages, a grand opportunity was presented to him on a silver platter, this time by the US government. Khomeini was informed of this military agreement by a mysterious source, which remains unknown, and contributes to the widespread idea that foreign forces back Khomeini, supporting him with intelligence and money. For years, and for a purpose. Whatever the justification, the consequence was giving Khomeini an opportunity which he was looking for all his life. To be listened to, not just by a relatively small religious fanatic group, but by a much larger part of society, who now looked at him as a national figure. A wave rider as he was, Khomeini immediately seized the opportunity by declaring on the Shah's birthday that the independence of Iran is gone, and asks, "Are we now a colony of America?" He cried, "Majlis has approved the document of our slavery," while blasting and insulting the US and the Shah.
عزت ما پایکوب شد عظمت ایران از بین رفت عظمت ارتش ایران را پایکوب کردند.
Khomeini was immediately arrested. His life spared by the Shah, but sent to exile in Turkey, then Iraq by Prime Minister Mansour, who was assassinated shortly after by Islamic extremists connected to Khomeini. Pezeshkzad writes, the last memory of Khomeini, after his exile, in the minds of many people, young intellectuals in specific, was his cry for Iran's independence and sovereignty. This served as a cover for all his previous reactionary slogans and backwards demands. A genie was out the bottle, and it was all for nothing. Or was it for nothing? Some claim that the revolution of 1979 would not have happened if an event in August of 1953 had not happened. This may be true, but not by their reasoning. Since if the historical event known as August 19th, 1953 had not happened, perhaps to begin with, a sovereign country named Iran might not have even existed in 1979 to have a revolution. The story of the 28th of Mordad has been misrepresented by various fronts, and the fact has changed throughout the years into a wrong assumption that it was the battle of Dr. Mossadegh and Mohammad Reza Shah against each other, or democracy versus dictatorship, that ended with the overthrow of Prime Minister Mossadegh and the triumphant return of the Shah after 3 days of self-exile in Rome.
Persians think that by nationalizing oil they are going to get rich. Unfortunately, the reverse will be the case.
برخلاف اصول و مقررات منشور ملل متفق خودسرانه نسبت به یک قوم صلحجو و طرفدار عدالت و دموکراسی مجازات‌های اقتصادی تعیین کند.
The fact is, back then the collective wisdom of the Iranians decided that with no disrespect to Mossadegh, he was not able to salvage a bankrupt economy and at the same time stop the communist takeover of Iran, represented by the Tudeh party. In their collective wisdom, Iranians determined rightly that for this Herculean mission, Mohammad Reza Shah was perhaps the only option. Collective wisdom does not mistake idealism with realism. Even the clergy, namely senior cleric and speaker of the House and Majlis, Ayatollah Kashani, took his side. So they, the people, brought the Shah back. And by bringing him back, the Shah felt they gave him a mandate to be the chosen king, something he took very seriously all his life. Maybe too seriously, though.
یک بار دیگر سپاس متقابل من به شما ملت ایران.